My boyfriend's business partner exposed his cheating in front of his family, so I dumped him and cut off all the help I was giving to his daughter. Now he's crying that I shouldn't punish his daughter for his mistakes. Posted by u/small_ruin2385. I, 29, usually stay with my boyfriend, Carl, 38M, on weekends. He lives with his daughter, 16F, when she's with him due to joint custody. He works a job that he hates because he has no opportunities for career growth, so 7 months ago, he started a company with an associate, Gabby, 35F. She's definitely successful and knowledgeable, so my concern was what would happen if she ever decided to cut him off. I'm mentioning this because his contribution to their partnership was bringing in clients, not anything technical. For the past 5 months, he stayed out late while working on their plans. I never had any reason for doubt or suspicion until he went to meet her on a Sunday afternoon. I didn't say anything because I know starting a business requires a lot of effort, but it's odd to allow an associate to interfere with family life. 2 weekends ago, she showed up and berated him for cheating on her. We were hanging out at his place with his 2 brothers, mother, his daughter, and sister-in-law when Gabby knocked on the door while Carl was in the shower. I started feeling weird when his family seemed hesitant to answer the door. His brother finally went to talk to her, but she walked past him and confronted me. She asked about our relationship. I'll admit I was a bit rude because I got defensive. His other brother went to get Carl, and it all turned into a crap show. At this point, I'm disgusted and don't know who was the real girlfriend and who was the side chick. Also, it's worth noting that she accused his family of betraying her. Carl remained vague when I demanded answers, and I felt like slapping him, but I controlled myself. She stormed out after an ugly exchange. I broke up with him that same day and haven't been able to find my way back to a good mental state. I can't believe anything he says, so whatever he explains will be a lie. This is where I might be the jerk. I decided to pull my support for his daughter. I had been paying for a makeup subscription box but cancelled it. She was supposed to get her prom dress as a loan from a friend of mine who has 4 daughters. I told my friend what happened, and we agreed that his daughter doesn't deserve any of my help. I also kicked them both off my streaming services and will not help with her history school project, nor will I keep her on my magazine subscription plan. Carl reached out, trying to discuss what I'm doing regarding his daughter. He said she's just a teenager and shouldn't pay for his mistakes. I agree that she has no power to stop him from doing bad things or from being a liar. I also know she wouldn't have been in a position to tell or warn me that her dad was cheating. But she's almost 17, next month, very mature, and definitely capable of knowing right from wrong. She had no problem receiving help and favors from me and was comfortable asking for things. She's not a brat or the demanding type, she would subtly ask for things, and I was happy to help. I'm sure she also benefited from Gabby, as it makes sense given that I'm under the impression Gabby was no stranger to her either. I told him, let Gabby do it, and he tried to complain about how Gabby vandalized their website. She took their page down, and now all it shows is a black screen. He says she locked him out of all the logins and supposedly had all her contacts block him. The only thing giving me a little joy right now is imagining him naked and holding his balls out in the cold. Am I being a jerk here? My friends are divided over this, not because of him but because they say she's just a teenager. Relevant comments. Commenter. How long have you known his daughter? She knew her dad was cheating on you and didn't care enough to say anything. Also, you broke up with her dad. Do you have any desire to maintain contact with him, his daughter, or any part of his life? If not, then you did the right thing. You should inform her about needing to find a new dress so that she isn't entirely blindsided, only because that's a formative experience for teenagers, but you don't owe her any favors or further involvement. However, if you've been involved in raising her for years, you may want to reconsider your approach and wait until after the anger has subsided a bit before making any decisions about her. Just my 2 cents, and I don't think you're the jerk here. Ops response. I've known her since she was 15. I don't want to continue the relationship because I don't trust her, her dad, or anyone in their family. Commenter 2. She isn't your daughter, she's his daughter. He can do all those things for her. And she isn't 6, she's 16, almost an adult. I knew that cheating was wrong as a teenager. And it wasn't just that she didn't tell you, it was that she had a relationship with this woman. She was asking you for things while being involved with a woman her father was cheating on you with? She needs to learn that actions have consequences. Of course, he betrayed you the most, but so did she. I hope you block him, his daughter, and his whole family and move on. You don't need people like that in your life. Update 2 days later. Thanks to everyone who took the time to reply. I think the consensus was about his daughter. I will not be contacting her at all. I reached out to Gabby via social media, and she replied. I explained my position and that I didn't know about her, which is why I was very rude and reacted with hostility. We exchanged messages. She said that, initially, he told her we were in an open relationship that was about to end. They were talking for months before they began their relationship. She said he first introduced his kid, then his younger brother, and that she met his mom when Carl invited her for lunch and had his mom show up without telling her. Also, she said that his mom was less than friendly and even made a small scene by picking a fight with her boyfriend. He and she are currently broken up. There's no way she's making this up, his mom treated that guy like crap. About his daughter, Carl used to visit Gabby on some weekends and would leave his kid at Gabby's place because they bonded over DIY projects. Now I know where his daughter got her fairy, witchy, fantasy, and elf polymer clay jewelry and hair accessories from. So I guess his working weekend gigs was a lie. She said they became a couple about a month or two after starting their company because she wouldn't accept an open relationship. He told her that we were done when, in fact, we never broke up, had a crisis, nothing. Gabby mentioned that her dad absolutely hates him and that things began to get rough because of things he did, which her dad noticed. She said her dad, and other family members always meet for Saturday dinner or Sunday brunch at a particular restaurant, and her dad noticed how she always paid for Carl and his kid. And if Carl ever paid for his food, he didn't pay for hers. She said her dad called her out because he would usually pay for everyone, his treat, his family, and he was getting very uncomfortable about Carl. He even paid for Carl to avoid making a scene but was fed up. So her dad told Carl he expected to be treated for a change, as a hostile joke, when they arrived at the restaurant, and Carl was very offended. Later, he told her that her dad's remark was a put-down. She also said that her best friend raised concerns about him and that everything started to crumble when he didn't attend her family's Christmas lunch as he had promised. He remained low-key during the holidays and claimed to have influenza. He used both of us, but he took far more advantage of her because she made material things available. And while I don't know her except for this situation, her messages show that she's very affected but mostly angry. I wouldn't be surprised if she ended up destroying him. She repeatedly mentioned that he deserved to have his life ruined. I didn't know that Carl never got an MBA like he told me. He never worked the 2 jobs he claimed to have and even put on his resume. She found out because she paid for background checks and other tools when things stopped adding up. Supposedly, this was part of why she started testing his abilities and had been thinking about pulling the plug business-wise. She said it's all BS, and that he's very insecure about his social standing. She told me a lot, but in a nutshell, I'm going to get tested for STDs and have already told my family what happened. I'm leaving it at that because writing about it really irritates me. I feel stupid for believing him. Thanks again. Relevant comments. Commenter. How do you get background checks done? Did she say which services she used? That seems like something that should be done right when meeting someone nowadays. Ops response. She didn't say, but I'm assuming it may be a service used by HR companies. Also, she said that she corroborated his stated graduation year with a public PDF document from that graduation at that university, and his name wasn't there, nor on PDFs from 5 years back or 5 years forward. Commenter 2. This whole situation is a masterclass in why you should never ignore red flags. The dad lied about everything, his relationship, his job, his education, and somehow still had the audacity to act offended when people didn't cater to him. The daughter is just a casualty in all this, but wow, imagine finding out your dad is not just a cheater but also a full-time con artist. I hope OP gets tested and then blocks everyone involved.